Welcome to my channel. So today's topic of discussion is education and how I can help guide individuals towards a higher level of education in the field of construction or the trades or manufacturing. Now, that does not mean that I'm the top number one expert in the field of construction, manufacturing, or the trades. It means that I have enough knowledge and enough understanding of any one of these trades to help you gain a better knowledge and understanding of that trade and where to go. So these are more like guide videos or ways to pique someone's interest in using a technology or a skill, or gaining a technology and a skill, and or where to go forward with that technology and skill. I'm going to be coming from my personal experience. My personal experience is fairly vast. So I'm going to give you a synopsis or a breakdown of my experience. And you can choose whether you want to continue to watch my videos based on what I'm about to tell you or not. So, in my 32 years of experience in the working force, and I've got more than those years under my belt, I'm going to give you a baseline synopsis of what I've done since I was a child to current. As a child, I painted our houses internally and sometimes externally. I mowed lawns, I gardened, I did stuff. As I became an adult and I went into the working world, before I'd gone into the working world, I got out of high school and middle school. Middle school, I gained my first training with power tools for bandsaws and forges and things like that. In high school, I got specific woodworking training that got me up to speed on table saws and lathes and planers and joiners and stuff. Once I got out of high school, actually I took my first blacksmithing course was in high school also. So blacksmithing, first blacksmithing experience I had was in high school. And then I got out of high school and joined the working world. And when I went into the working world, I did menial jobs, working for Baskin Robbins and stuff like that. Then I got into a welding shop. I worked in the welding shop for a few years and learned the basics on selling welding equipment and using welding equipment. Then I took formalized training for welding in Texas. And that was a single class course, over a 6-month period. And that got me oxyacetylene welding. I got pretty good at oxyacetylene welding and cutting. I focused on that. I didn't focus on MIG or arc at that point. I thought one skill was enough. Then I started working for a welding company again after working in a pizza parlor and some other minor jobs. So I got to learn how to make pizzas. A good skill. Worked in the welding shop for another 7 or 8 years as a hazmat driver and a welding salesman, things of that nature. So I got a really good familiar use of welding tools and technologies, grinding tools and technologies, and etc. I read a lot of books on welding and fabricating and tooling. During that time frame, I took on an apprenticeship as a blacksmith, and I took on a 4-year apprenticeship as a blacksmith. So I became highly versatile in blacksmithing. It became one of my better skills. I've been interested in blacksmithing since I was a small child. When I watched Conan the Barbarian with Arnold Schwarzenegger, that movie really triggered me for wanting to become a blacksmith. The opening scene, smashing steel on a wood block and smoke and fire going everywhere, is pretty cool. That inspired my blacksmithing career. And then J.R.R. Tolkien, also inspired that career by the dwarves making jeweled daggers and things of that nature. Is really descriptive. And I thought that was really interesting, that somebody could take steel and gold and copper and meld them into jewelry and artwork and still have functional systems out of it. So I sold welding gear, became a blacksmith, and became a welder in my own right. During that time frame, I took a TIG welding course and got brushed up on TIG and how to stainless steel weld and aluminum weld with TIG welding, let alone just steel, regular mild steel and high carbon steel. That was a very short course. It's a 2-day course or something, but it gave me the basics of understanding how TIG actually operates versus the fantasy I had. And I was able to sell a lot more TIG welding equipment because of that experience. And that was really good training. After that after that job finished, I became independent and I helped set up shops for welding and fabricating. And I also worked in those shops, welding and fabricating, using tools like shears and benders and TIG welding equipment, MIG, oxyacetylene, grinding, making sculpture and things of that nature. Moving heavy objects like sheet metal benders and sheet metal brakes up and downstairs. And those things, it's like moving a Volkswagen Beetle. Very, very dangerous. Very hard to do, but doable. That also got me into gardening, which I'd already been doing since I was a small child. And so I got better at using drip irrigation systems and watering systems and how those function or don't function, depending on how the system's set up. I got into doing handyman work at that level, plumbing, toilets, replacing things like water heaters, refrigerators, you name it, I was replacing it. So for 3 or 4 years there, I was independently being a handyman and helping people with odd jobs. Had to work on my own vehicles throughout this whole time frame. Replace batteries, change oil, change filters, change alternators, change ball joints, change exhaust systems, a variety of different things. I could have easily gone into the mechanics field, but I truly do not appreciate banging my knuckles. And so I never became a mechanic because it always seems like you're putting too much force on a bolt and it slips and you bang your knuckles. I was just never really into it. Or you're in a really small space and you bang your knuckles, and it's like, just, for me, it's aggravating. I don't like doing mechanical work on vehicles, although I'm skilled at it. In the process of doing that, I switched over to becoming a welder for a private company, and my training increased under the tutelage of Robert Signorella. Robert Signorella got more of the finer details of welding under my belt, and what he actually did, though, because I was already a fairly decent welder, was he got me grinding in a different way. Now, I was pretty confident in my grinding skills since I was a blacksmith and a welder and a fabricator of my own renown compared to anybody else that was in the field. And he made me look like a gibbering monkey. And Robert Signorella had skill that I don't even have to this day. Anytime that I was frustrated with a grind or a weld or a fabrication of anything, he's like, "It's so easy, Seth." And he'd come along and he'd just do it really fast. And I'm sitting there like staring at every movement that he's making, trying to figure out what the heck is different, whether he's got more pressure on, how the sparks are flying off, which direction the sparks are flying off, what part of the wheel he's using. I watched his angles and I watched him like a hawk, because it was really hard to figure out what he was doing versus what I was doing. And I was so slow at it and he was so fast at it, and he made it look effortless. And now I make it look effortless to other people. So I need to train other people on how to do that. Grinding is really, really quite difficult. Seems like an easy skill. Seems like it's the easy part of welding. No. Most people have no idea how to use a grinder. They don't know how to use a grinder or a cutter. Big, small, doesn't matter. That tool, that one tool, that angle grinder, is so versatile. In the right hands, it's an artistry product. In the wrong hands, it's damn dangerous. I know I've had it one walk up my face before, and I got very lucky. I was wearing protective gear when I was younger. Yeah, so I've grinding and welding. Welding's the easy part. Grinding's the hard part. Welding takes technique and understanding of basics, and then how to jump around a welding project so it doesn't warp too bad, and how to keep everything square and level and straight and from twisting. Grinding, no. Grinding, you have to know how to use the wheel, whether you're dipping, you're flat, you're angled, reversed angled, whether you're feathering, whether you're cutting, whether you're using the edge of the grinder. It's not the simple, easy thing that people claim it is. Grinding actually takes a lot of training. I worked for Robert Signal on and off for like 8 years, and he was teaching me stuff till the day I quit. Twice. Robert Signal is a really good guy. He's an excellent welder and a fabricator and an artist, and he and I just butted heads too much, and I didn't appreciate that. I didn't see the need for butting the heads, and he was always kind of like, and I'm like, nah, you don't grr at me. I don't do that. So with all my students, I don't grr at them. I don't get angry or mad. I do my best not to. Somebody has to mess up really bad for me to raise my voice in a training scenario, and they have to mess up really bad. Like most things I don't care about. I don't care about breaking a tool. I don't care about breaking an object. I don't care if the project gets scrapped. None of that matters if the individual's okay. So for me, training safety into the system is predominantly number one. We train safety in the system because I have all my fingers. I have both my eyes, my nose, my ears. I'm not massively injured. You don't see any huge scars. I've got no injuries on me. Why? Are there no major injuries on me? There could have been. There were at one point or time. I've hit my knuckles with grinders. I've done some stupid stuff with grinders and welders and fabricating and stuff. Nothing so severe that I couldn't get over it. I have all the grip strength in my hands. I can move all my knuckles independently of each other. Okay? So I'm fully functional. Okay? I'm just getting old. And my hands shake now. And they shook when I was younger, but it's gotten worse. The reason that I want to train people on how to do this stuff is because my hands are not nearly as steady as they used to be. This is actually really steady to what it's comparatively. Normally I'm shaking a little bit more like this. Okay? Normally I'm pretty shaky. Right now I'm pretty stable. I mean, there's a little shake there. I can see it in my thumb. My thumb's a little bit out of control right there. Okay? Stop. That's why I want to train people on how to do this stuff, because I can't do it all. It's pretty simple. So when I was done working with Robert Signorella and done fabricating stuff for him, I moved back to doing the street closures for the triathlon company, and I worked there for a few more years, 6 years or something like that. And COVID hit, and we were closed down. And for 2 years there, we were closed down, and I was working every day, 12-hour days, but we weren't getting anywhere. And I set up another shop, another welding and fabrication shop, and that didn't fly because my work there ended. And then I worked for a laundromat for a little bit. And there's been a bunch of jobs in between. I've been a debris removal specialist for 12 or 13 years. I was low voltage line runner for 12 or 13 years. I had all these other jobs. So I've been working 2 to 3 jobs at any one given time for 30 years. And I work nights, weekends, days. I work a 24-hour shift. I did that for years. I'm just burned out on it. I work in construction now. We remodel homes and buildings, and I'm just burned out on that too. I took my certificate. One of the only certificates I actually have is in permaculture. I took the PDC with Jeff Lawton. So permaculture is a really big item on my agenda, and I'm always looking for ways to conserve energy and conserve power and reduce workloads and help people with longer term solutions. So that's really important to me. And one of the solutions that we have is we have to train people in the trades to be better. And that's where my information comes in, and I need to translate that information to the next generation. And I have a lot of information to translate. I know this is a long video, so just bear with me if you're interested. I need comments and feedback down below. I need to know what people are interested to learn about, so I can focus my videos. My next video is going to be a survey video. I'm going to ask a series of questions, and in those series of questions, the answers I get back are the videos I'm going to make. Okay, so if nobody comments down below, I don't make any videos. If people comment down below, I'll make a video on it if I can, within reason. Anyways, so my general knowledge is in the construction and trades of the construction systems, but predominantly where that starts is with physics and understanding how things work at a physical level. I got a lot of training from my father in physics. Matter of fact, almost all of it. School did not do that for me. The education system couldn't train me in physics better than my father could. My father started when I was born, and I got lectured day after day after day after day after day after day on physics till I was probably 16, 17. And man, it paid a lot to ask a question to my father, because he'd give me an answer. But he'd give me an answer that was well beyond answering the question, because he'd give me an answer of systems and why things worked. And from there, I could extrapolate other data. And he taught me how to learn and how to seek information. And what I'm going to do is hopefully translate that to you, is how to seek information. I can't train you in everything. I can give you the basics. I can give you the generals. I can give you the ideas. I can give you the fundamental basics of the physics of it. And then you have to go through and continue that training with an educator, somebody that's certified. You can go get your certification. You can go start a business. Do whatever you want. The question is, how do we as individuals help each other to provide better information, to make better stuff, so we have to work less hard later. And that's one of my core tenets right there, and I'm gonna express it really simply. My mission statement is very simple. I want to reduce your cost of living, improve your standard of living, and improve the environment you live in. If I can do those 3 things, we both win. Okay? And one of the ways to improve your standard of living is to help train you in higher level things. How to use nuts and bolts correctly, how to weld, oxyacetylene weld or MIG weld or TIG weld, how to you form projects, how to build projects. I mean, we need the training to move forward. So my job is to help you reduce your cost of living, improve your standard of living. To reduce your cost of living, you got to do a lot of these projects yourself for your house and your car and things like that. And that way you don't have to hire mechanics and people all the time to do things for you. When you get the skills, then you can sub your skills out and you can make money using your skills to make more money. The more tools you have in your toolbox up in here, the better off you are economically. That usually translates fairly well. That's what I got for you. If you have interest or questions, put them down below. If you like this kind of content, you want to see more of it, like the little like button. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you can hit the little bell button or the subscribe button, and follow me on this journey, because it's not just manufacturing that we need. We need food, we need waste removal, and we need to reduce our reliance on other countries. We need to help train each other. So this is a training system to help you train others also. Hopefully YouTube will be around for a lot of years and a lot of people gain some benefit out of this stuff. With that being said, I may create a secondary channel that is more focused on the trades and construction and is not attached to smooth swales as is currently this video. If you want to see that, put a comment down below. Have a great day, and we'll be sending you more data through YouTube in the near future.